afternoon, good evening, good night. Welcome to
Parenting Special Needs.
Yay! My self-care has been finally getting over this stupid walking pneumonia. Sorry. I'm still just coughing up a bunch of phlegm. Still riding my bike, but could you believe walking pneumonia, you never know you have that unless you go see a doctor saying, look, I still feel like crap. Well, let's see. Do you have COVID? Check off as no, I didn't have COVID. So
do you have the flu?
No. They gave me every test and they said, oh, look, you got walking pneumonia. It didn't kill me because I was taking medication every day. The weekends I was taking medication. So that's why it didn't get any worse. It did mess up my lungs a little bit because I had to be on the inhaler, but not... Sorry again. But I've been doing okay, been surviving. I actually watched the new Disney Star Wars. That was pretty cool. Can't think of the name of it now. Ahsoka.
Yeah.
It was really good. I do recommend watching it. The new episode is Tuesday night. Since I've been playing Ghostbusters, I only got to maybe third round in it. I stopped playing it because I've been trying to find things to watch, or I get bored or not feeling good. I go home, back to the house and fall asleep right after work. I'm just so tired from the heat because we've been hitting those triple digits. Yay! Uh-oh, we got a new face, and there she is.
They only get Daddy every other weekend, so she's more clingy to Daddy when he's home.
Yeah. So, thank you. And what you gotta do?
I have been reading and listening to audiobooks. I'm listening right now to Purple Cow. I am reading and listening along to New Spring. It's a Wheel of Time series book. I am reading Vampire Knitting Club series. I'm in the second book, Stitches and Witches. It's interesting. The first one's where she had to solve her grandmother's murder / her assistant's murder and try to prevent her own murder and figure out who was trying to steal the family spell book. So that was interesting. This one, she just went to a tea shop next door and witnessed a elderly gentleman murder. He was poisoned and they're trying to figure out how he was poisoned. So that's been interesting. The children have been watching majority of the time Pacifier, The Croods, New Age, Twister, 13 Minutes. Unschooling, Emily's Wonder Lab on Mondays. Tuesdays, it's Storybots Read Along. Silas will watch that one while Kaylee and I do her reading separately. She doesn't like watching Storybots. She'd rather have that one-on-one. So we do that. On Wednesdays, they watch Number Blocks. And Thursdays is Who Was I? And then last week they watched The Aquarium, where they go behind the scenes of the Georgia Aquarium. And this week we watched The Swimmers, which is about these two sisters who came over from Syria during the Syria Civil War, and how they got over to Greece, and then they got over to Berlin, Germany, and how she was able to, one of the sisters was able to join the refugees Olympic team and ended up winning for that team, and then she did it again 4 years later. So that was interesting. Steve and I just watched The Flash this weekend, which is totally different than the series.
Yeah, it is. They changed everything on it. So.
It was kind of interesting to have seen the series and then watch the movie, and it's just wrong in so many ways.
You know how DC and Marvel and all those Disney people, they are changing it to their way. They don't care what the comic book says or the correct way. So they're just, hey, how about we just try it this way because, oh, we own it, so we could change it.
Right. And then we watched Black Adam again. I told Steven, I didn't remember that he was part of the Shazam.
I mean, she didn't even watch it.
I watch it, I just don't remember a lot of it. It's been a while since we watched. But it was kind of neat to see. There is no On Patrol this weekend. They're not coming back until the weekend after Labor Day. So it's kind of interesting how they get to take these little breaks. And I told them, I said, they didn't really take a break between seasons. So I'm fine with these small little breaks that they do. We're still in the waiting pattern for a lot of our shows, see if they're going to come on when they're supposed to with the strike going on. I've heard certain shows are affected, most aren't affected. We'll just have to wait and see. The kids are still doing speech. This is Kaylee's last week of speech. So that'll be interesting getting her onto her new schedule. And they're both getting OT. I've already told y'all that she's on hold for PT. She has a reeval in November, and we'll see how she does then and how she's been doing at home for her therapy. Silas is now, these are his official diagnoses, sorry. He's autistic. He has sleep apnea. He has hyperreflexia, developmental delays. Right now, it has not been proven that he's epileptic. They're still doing tests on that to see. He's getting ready to go in for MRI. He also has chronic constipation, where we just have to keep him on medication pretty much the rest of his life until either it fixes itself or just keep on going. In the process of doing Social Security supplemental income for him, because of all of his appointments that he's going through this year, just to kind of help with the cost of going back and forth from Bernie to San Antonio and back. It helps pay for the parking when we have to go to the hospital for these tests. If he has another seizure, we have to pay for parking when he's at the hospital. He's also had a sleep study, so I was away from the kids during that time and not able to do certain things. So that'll help offset that cost as well.
Besides, I may have a second job working for Dollar General. How about that?
Yeah.
Extra income might help because we need, since I'm not living here at the house, trying to get me another car as fast as possible.
So he can come back home and be with us until we can move out.
An extra $500 a month may help. If I could put that away for at least 3 months, that should give me $1,500. If I put a little bit more away, I could probably get up to $2,000 to $2,500. I could probably be moved back maybe by December. And then I could probably get up to $3,000 to $4,000 to $5,000 a month. So that way I could put away $1,500 and I could put a little bit more away. I could probably get up to $2,000 to $2,500. I could probably moved back maybe by December. earliest by December if I could do it right and get the right SUV or the right vehicle for that price.
Especially with the Social Security supplemental income, they said it could take 6 months minimum to get approved. But
up to 2 years.
Before everybody started really applying, it was taking 6 months to a year, and now it's taking more than a year to get approved.
6 months to 2 years.
So we're still trying to make it. We really never wanted to be on any kind of financial assistance. We're just ones that want to work for what we have. But when we started noticing that the kids are doing without more and more, it just was where we had to do this. And what was in the best interest of them.
Yeah, we went from being ahead, having a really nice car, back to the future cars where we got antiques again. We had to start from the bottom again. It's no biggie. It doesn't hurt me or hurt us. It just, that means we just had to do without again. That our Pathfinder was one of the newest cars I ever had myself. It did everything I wanted to do. It was great on gas. It was comfortable. It was fast.
Yeah.
It was good for the kids. Had room we needed. But I had to hit a deer, back up into a telephone pole. That was the stupid things I did to it. It's my fault. But that's just not. It's really my fault not paying attention when I backed up when I found the telephone pole. The deer, well, I couldn't help the deer part.
Yeah.
And then after the deer hit me, then we have other people say, oh, they're already scratched. How about I hit them too?
Yeah. I mean, luckily we're not material people, so us losing stuff is like, okay, that just wasn't meant to be anymore. Let's move on. That's how we want the kids to be. We rather them have memories than possessions. I mean, yeah, we'll find toys for them and get it for them, but majority of the time we spend time with the kids, whether it's doing schoolwork, playing games with them, reading to them. It's building those memories. In fact, I'm doing Steven's laundry right now, and Kayla goes, Mommy, I want to spend time with you. And I go, Mommy can't. And I don't ever really like saying, Mommy's busy. I can't play with you right now. I love the fact that I do work from home. I'm able to be with them. And I can say, okay, Mommy is going to stop and spend that time with you. And because Steven has to leave to go back to work tomorrow and not come back up for another 2 weeks, it's where I'm sorry, I'm pressed for that time. Daddy's getting ready to leave. Why don't you go spend some time with Daddy?
Yeah, so she's on my leg right now.
Yeah. So that's one thing that's really been rough on us, is that he can't see them unless it's over Skype. And he goes, I feel like I'm a ghost. I only get this much time with them, and I can't even hug them. I can't kiss them. I can't do anything.
And our
and
son don't like Skype with me because he can't connect with me, so he just gives me the I love you and then just bounce around and say, okay, I'm out of here. I understand, because he's never the type that likes virtual very much, because virtual is just, it's just like watching TV.
Yeah.
Pretty much it is. Yeah, even though he's talking to me, physically talking to me, and I'm talking back, but it's not the same as touching, feeling, like, oh, baby, type
and
things.
We knew it was going to be hard because he first started school during the virtual era, and he didn't really associate with the teachers or anything. I was more talking to the teachers than he was on there.
Spit on you?
We're trying to do speech with school and the private clinic, and he can't get into it. When we finally got on with OT with them, I'm like, please tell me you're not virtual. She goes, no, unless you want it. I'm like, no, I don't want it. I said, if I had a choice between any therapy, virtual or in person, I want in person. I said, if I knew that schools were going to stay open, I would have had him in school. He does better in person. But I didn't know how schools were going to be. I didn't want him to get on that routine of going to school every day and then all of a sudden it stopped. That was not fair to him. He's a very, once he's on a schedule, you need to keep him on that schedule. So, I mean, that's one thing he goes, Mommy, the only thing I miss about school is the school bus. I love that I can get my work done and I have the rest of the time to play. I can do what I want to do. And I'm like, as long as you do your schoolwork, we're good. So that's been one of the nice things about it. And he gets that one-on-one with us. So that's a plus there as well.
Yeah. We had a stray that came up to us at the shop. A nice, beautiful shepherd. I think she's 3 to 4 years old. I don't know who's taking care of her, but we gave her a bath. A week later, she came back. Because when I found her, she had fleas, ticks, starving. I started feeding her, so she kept coming back. We call her the shop dog, but we don't know who owns her because they're starving her. But we feed her as much as possible. Like I said, shepherds are really nice dogs. But if you don't rein them in right away, give them that running space that they need to get out and run, they'll control you. You cannot control them. Even though they're inside the house, but once they're outside, pretty much the neighbors have the shepherd, but never let it outside. So when it gets outside, it's like, laters.
Yeah.
She's been outside her entire life, looks like. So she's not the type to run, but she did love to play. She's a cute little girl.
She's good with the kids. Kaylee ran up to her and gave her a big hug. Never seen this dog a day in her life, and ran up to her and gave her a hug. And
she didn't like it, but she didn't snap at her. She didn't do anything. She just like, okay, you can hug me, you can kiss me, but okay.
And then when Kaylee did it again, she was like, okay, you can hold me. I'm good. You're not gonna hurt me. Nothing's gonna happen.
She's a little frigid around strangers, but once you warm up to her, she's a good girl. But like I said, I can't take her home because she's too old already.
Well, she's too old, and we don't know for sure who has her. We don't want to be accused of stealing.
But
go ahead.
We're trying to get. They say that they can't have small dogs. They can't have medium-sized dogs. They both have to have large dogs, because the large dogs will do more for them, be able to stop them if they need to.
Right.
So that's why they say they both have to have large dogs. Like one of them has to have a.
Kaylee has to have a golden retriever because golden retrievers are one of the dogs that helps children walk and even adults walk. Silas would have a black lab because it's more associated to be for autism and prevent him from eloping. For my issues, I would need the German Shepherd. Steven is leaning more towards a German Shepherd or a Blue Heeler?
Any of them, because mine's going to actually be trained for guard dog duty. It's more for protection, because the other three's going to be, they won't be able to, they may still be able to protect them, but mine's going to be really towards the guard dog position, where he could be laying down when we're outside. I don't have to be outside watching him constantly saying, who's coming up, or I have to be outside all the time. Like when I grew up, my parents were outside. My parents was nowhere near me. As a Generation X, if y'all understand that, where was our parents? Oh, they're at work. Did we had video games? No. We had arcade games, arcades. But even then, if you're in a small town, it's too hard to get to one. So we had to say, okay, what's a game we could do? Oh, how about smear the career, or who could hurt each other first, or who could jump without breaking their necks on their bicycles or skateboards, or, make your own stupid ramps. Literally, stupid ramps back then. Nowadays, you could buy a perfectly good ramp where you can't hurt yourself. If you break something, they run you to the hospital. Back then, like me growing up, you break something, is it broken? Let's see, let's find out another day, and then we'll take you in. But that's how it is. We're just going day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute to see how everything goes.
Right.
If you notice that I'm more in the deeper voice, hoarse sounding, because I'm not back to 100% on my voice.
We are getting rid of our small dogs. We're trying to find a well-established home for them. If you want to see the ad, it's on our Facebook profile, and it's also on our Nextdoor app.
They're good puppies.
They're very good dogs. They're just small dogs. And Kaylee used to be scared of big dogs. Well, now she's scared of the small dogs. And that's another reason why we're having to get rid of them. She loves them to death. But when they come up to her, as long as they're not right next to her, she's fine. But if they come up to her, she's like, oh my gosh. So that's another reason why we're doing this. With the kids getting their service dogs within the next 2 years. It's not fair to these two to have to stay home while they're at time. Then my dog will come with me too. But right now we're focusing on the kids. We need to know that they are taken care of way before we get ours. Mine would be more for my asthma and for my anxiety. When I can't find the kids, my anxiety goes up. If I go into new areas with them, like if I take them to the mall or something and I don't have Steven or somebody with me, I tense up more. And so I just need somebody, whether it's, since Steven can't be there, it'll be the dog, just trying to keep me calm and focus on what's going on. So that's why I would get a dog. But like I said, right now it's where we need to focus on these two, get them accumulated to the new home when we move, and then get the dogs that they need. So that is where we are on the animal situation. Turbo is still alive. He actually had a baby. So that's been kind of exciting. Silas thought that he got some baby snails from therapy, but I haven't seen anything from it. This is the first time I've seen a baby, and it was actually attached to Turbo. If you don't know, snails are asexual. They're not male or female. They're both. They can reproduce on their own. So this is the first time we've seen this, so it's kind of exciting to see and all of that. And it's good for school, for the kids to see. I'm glad we didn't see the whole birthing process, but it is what it is.
Yep. So.
We will see y'all in the next video. Everybody have a good 2 weeks, and we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.